All right, so we got pin squats here. I added these in instead of pause squats to hopefully help with my bad bar path. I'm noticing on review of these pin squats that I actually set the bar a little too far back. Since this, I've switched my shoes. These are Adidas Powerlift 4s. And now I'm using my Romaleos still, even with the low bar. I also took my stance out a little bit, so hopefully trying to artificially shorten the femur length a little bit. I think I also went too deep on these. If I go up one pinhole on the rack, I think that would be better because I mean that's pretty deep. My low back was fried after these, but yeah, you can see the bar is kind of like closer to over my heel a little bit, but it could be a little bit harder to tell because my feet are more pointed out. That's something to keep in mind that I hadn't thought about until right now. I mean, this is a heavy deadlift for me. Uh, Pretty fast. I mean, it's the start of the block, so this is only 80%. Yeah, it's flying up practically. A couple speed reps here. Maybe not the last one, but this first one. Rack pulls. I am bad at these, but I'm noticing like my hips just end up being super high for these. Um, so it's challenging my torso integrity a lot, which is good. I think I need to keep doing them. Here's belt squat. Yeah, once again going with the wider stance. Uh, and I've since changed my shoes, so yeah, I get nice and deep here. The machine was like, I guess, grinding a little bit. Um, so hopefully it doesn't go out of service. Uh, if it does, I guess I'll switch to Bulgarian split squats. It'd be nice just to have some sort of squat thing that's not killing my low back all the time. Squats beat me up more than deadlifts, or realistically equally as much, but no, more. I'm gonna say more. Um, so hopefully this machine stays working. Leg press goes with my back, otherwise I'd do that. Um, yeah, I was trying to get some extra quad volume in, or just squat volume in general. Uh, Here's my bench. It's volume bench this week, so this is my last set. I decided to take some assistance reps. I don't know if that was a mistake or not. It definitely like my chest was a little bit cooked for the rest of the workout, so from that standpoint, it was kind of a mistake. But you know, I'm far out from a meet. It's volume bench. To me, the intent of volume in this sort of thing is not necessarily technique practice, although that's part of it. But this is more really specific hypertrophy. So I don't think taking assist reps on something that's so specific to hypertrophy is necessarily a bad idea. But on the other hand, I'm a powerlifter getting help on powerlifting movements, and that doesn't sit as right with me. Um, I mean, not exactly yanking the bar off my chest, but still, I don't know. I'm of two minds about it. I'm not gonna do it again for the rest of the block. Uh, but it's gonna be lower reps from here on out anyway. So what's it matter? Here's close grip. I failed my fifth rep on the first set. Because I was so cooked from the assist reps. So that's something to keep in mind. But my second set here, I rested up enough and was able to get it. I have a little bit of heaving with the close grip a little bit. Not noticeable, but it's there. Not super noticeable, rather. It's obviously noticeable. There, see, just a bit of a heave. So that's something to keep in mind. Here's speed squats. So yeah, as you can see, I'm wearing the ROMs here. Um, Taking that little bit of a wider stance. Feels good mostly. It feels a little weird, but I can tell I'm already using more quad, which was the goal. Um, yeah, I mean these move pretty fast. But even there, you like see my butt kick up a little bit, even with this really lightweight. Uh, I think I might also need to start like manually putting the brakes on my squat rather than bouncing, which is that's a wider stance thing, and it's also kind of like a longer legged guy thing. Because I think the bounce, in addition to being a little bit harder to reach with the wider stance, is also just throwing off my bar path. I don't think it's too bad here. Let's see. Okay, that's good. Yeah, my butt kicks up a little bit. Bar path on these is good. I just getting a little foldy with it. But as you know, I'll take foldy with good bar path over foldy with bad bar path anyway, any day. Um, Here's pause deadlifts. I went too heavy on these, but this is one of my favorite movements. But I was pushing it way too heavy. Yeah, that's not even the last rep. Come on. Hey, I challenge. A lot of people can't. I like the grind. I'm not gonna say there aren't people who can't outgrind me, but I'm a grinder for sure. So speaking of grinding, that's why I added some bands to my speed bench day. So I figured I usually don't film it because it's not terribly interesting. But here I'm using some bands to try and get me from grinding so much on bench, because I grind super. Oh, there we go, dancing around here. Super grindy on bench. So thing I wanted to discuss this week is mobility. I was thinking, because I took out my stance, and if I had bad mobility, it would have taken me a while to take it out of my stance, because I took it out a good 2 or 3 inches. But since my hip mobility is pretty decent, I'm not, and by no means am I a freaking Dulcim or whatever. I'm not a yoga master, but I'm fairly flexible, and I think that was beneficial. And if you don't keep stretching, you're gonna lose your flexibility. So I stretch every night, 10, 15 minutes, nothing crazy, but it just helps keep everything locked up, or not locked up, right? And another thing, when I'm stretching, I'll take a second and try to focus on my breathing and sort of meditate. So it's sort of a 2-for-1, where I'm getting ready to sleep because I'm a bad sleeper, and I'm getting some stretching in. So it doesn't have to be crazy. This is what I was listening to over the week. There's a pretty solid argument to be made that Iron Maiden's my favorite band. Despite me being ostensibly a core kid. I don't really like metal like this, but Iron Maiden, I'm a bass player. Steve Harris is the man. One of the great bassists of all time. So I really like Maiden a lot. Here's my email. Admittedly, as you could see from the video, I'm not the strongest guy in the world. But I'm trying to make my own system here. I'm trying to learn. So that's why I'm offering to coach for free, because I'm not promising the best results in the world, but I'm really trying to learn here, and collaboration is beneficial for learning.